Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be going over the SP 500, the Nasdaq 100, exactly how we moved on the market today, what you can be expecting going into tomorrow and the following week to be making money in this market. Before we get into that, I have to ask you to consider doing two things: liking the video, it helps out with the algorithm, commenting down below, any of that. I really appreciate all the love and support from you guys. We are growing right now once again. And then again, consider subscribing. Every day I'm giving you the videos breaking down the S&P and Nasdaq for you so you know how to trade going into the next day so you're not surprised. But what we're going to do is start breaking some of this down. I'm going to just give you overall what happened today, why I was bullish going into yesterday, going into today as well, and what's really happening with the game plan. Now, what I want to cover first is going to be Bookmap. And I want to talk about Bookmap a little bit here because, one, I am sponsored by them, but also, two, you can get it for free on Thinkorswim, so you know. If you're on Thinkorswim, you can actually call up your broker and just say, hey, can I try out Bookmap, the free trial? And you get three, I believe you get the ES, the NQ, and then you get like one free stock or something to look at. And all I use it for really is going to be indexes. So using this for ES is very helpful, and you can use it literally how I use it in this video. But what I want to do is just cover a few things here because a lot of people are confused when I'm talking about this, but it gives you such a good outlook on the overall market. So what we're going to do is actually ignore this bottom chart down there, and I just want to show you how we moved. Overall, when it came to CVD and buyers versus sellers, there was a lot of people today, in my opinion, trying to go short on the market or reestablish some of those positions. But overall, you continue to climb. And the key level was right here. So when you're looking at this, basically from this top little chart you have up here, it goes dark into red. And as you get more close to that red area, sorry, grammar's terrible today. As you get closer to that red area, that means there's more liquidity there. So as we come right here, you can see orders really stacked up. That means there was a lot of sellers at that area. And then when you have something down here, that means there's a lot of buyers, and buyers are setting supports down here. There might be moving orders back and forth. And why I like this is because it gives you a visual where buyers were previously and where they're at now. So you know if this level gets broken and you eat through this level of liquidity, you can see that level becomes sellers, then becomes buyers, and then it becomes a support. So what I want to do really quickly is show you 3,900 was a big level. We'll go over the SPY here in a second, but look at what happened here. You broke through, retested that key 3,900 level, and then boom, you went crazy. Now, why I want to cover that is look at SPY on the day. Originally, during the beginning of the day, you got that nice gap up, great movement overall, but the key thing was continuation. How to know if we were going to keep going up, because you're making kind of these higher lows going on here. Get a bit of a little drawdown right there. But ultimately, it was kind of like an ascending triangle, if you will. It was kind of struggling here. But overall, you were really trying to push this key range right here. You can see test, came down, and then eventually you broke. And where things really get clear is if you follow these futures. And that's why I'm so big on telling you guys, follow the futures if you want to day trade. That's the answer. That's why I think these videos are so helpful to some of you, is because futures are going to give you the roadmap into how to trade each and every day. If futures go up, your stocks are going to go up. Simple as that. So when we go back here, you can see that retest right there at about 2 p.m. 145. Coming back down right here, 12:30, boom, you come down, and then you pop back up, and then you get that retest once again right here, which turned out, what was that level? It was that key area you've been trying to break all day long. As you come back in, you bounce, and then once again, you shoot up to 390. I was telling everyone in Discord all day, I was like, SPY is going to 390. That's the area you want to test today, and that's the area you ultimately went to. Nasdaq, we go over there, and we can look what happened here. Nasdaq, you hit our first range of about 12.15. That was the first target I mentioned yesterday. I'm looking for 12.3 to be tested. You get above 12.3, and you're looking incredibly bullish. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, Tyler, you've been very bearish on the market. What's your viewpoint right now? And again, for me, it's all about making money. If you're new here, you need to understand, when I step to the computer, step into the desk, or step into trading every day, it's about making money in the market no matter what. So when I'm looking at these charts, there's no bias. I don't care if you look like you're going to push up or down. It's all about how I'm going to make money going to the market every day. So when you come into Discord, you might see me a little bit all over the place sometimes, but ultimately the goal when I'm coming here is to establish the way the market's moving, the trend that you're in, and then trade based on that trend. And we've talked about it. What happened here? You had 1, 2, 3 big levels of a bottom being made here on the 4-hour chart. That's a huge bottom down there. 11.4 held. You broke back above 11.7. We told you when you broke above 11.7, 12,000, after 12,000, 12.15, and then hopefully 12.3 tomorrow, going into tomorrow. That's my opinion. That's why I see us moving. And by the way, guys, just thought about it. Stay tuned here on the channel because we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways for free memberships into the Discord. Yeah, we've had a really successful overall past few weeks, and I just want to give back to the community. So stay tuned. We've already done 3 giveaways for 3 free months for a few people. Stay tuned. More of that will be coming. But ultimately, you're coming back into this range. You got a little bit of resistance. I still like what I'm seeing. Broad scale market, what's going on here? NVIDIA, one of the big players. We started buying down here at 144. You're back at 158 today. Some of the trades we took today on the market. When you come in here, this is what I was trading. So I had some Facebook. I got those a little bit early. That was probably the biggest L on the day right here. I ended up cutting these a little bit too soon. And these ended up running, I believe the 170s ran towards $4 almost. So it was a huge win there. But I missed out. Some people made money on that in the Discord. NVIDIA's, these were the big winner. We've been holding the 160s pretty much all day. Those are really, really winning us there. We also had some Amazons as well. That's what we traded on the day. Now, coming back to here, what do I see happening? I think you just have so much room across the board. When we look at stuff like Apple, when we look at the big 6, the big movers on the market, look at how Apple's been moving just in a straight shot up. Now, what I want to show you on a broad scale market is what's really happening here. Now, I think a lot of people, they're going to just give you a technical view. And I think technicals are incredibly important. When I come here, when you come to this channel, you know you're going to get technicals. However, I like to mix it in with fundamentals so you can see what's really driving price up or down. Now, key levels right now, in my opinion, this whole level right here, 384, 390-ish, it's going to be a big level because this is previous lows, but you're starting to get back above those. And it's looking like you're going to push higher than these levels here as well. But what I want to highlight here are some of the key bounces that we've had. And it really starts going back to March. This was our March bounce when you got your first rate hike, right? When you get that 50-point high, I believe, right here. Look at this movement. Look how parabolic and just straight up it is. It was a slow climb at times, but it was a climb nonetheless with very minimal downs. I think we had like 7 to 8 green days in a row. In my opinion, this is shockingly similar to that movement that we're seeing back there. As well, we talked about the last time that we got Fed minutes. It was right here, May 25th. Very similar price action. Very similar movement. Now, you went into a phase of getting that sideways consolidation, which we're going to be looking out for. We want to see this once again, that sideways consolidation for almost 2 weeks right there. I'm not saying it's going to happen for 2 weeks, so don't twist my words. But you want to see some of this down the road. I'm going to get into this why. But we are in this phase right now of upside pressure, and you're coming to your first big resistance, in my opinion, 392, which again, 12.3 on the Nasdaq. Now, going back into SPY, looking at what's going on, how you're pushing, you look very strong. I still see upside. I see probably a test at least of 392, 393. That would just make sense to me. Still bullish on it. I still think you have a lot more upside. Looking at NQ. Looking here. Sorry, I have to type in actual NQ. Sorry, I have technical difficulties. Coming into NQ. Back to that same range, 12.3. That's what we're looking at. From there, you get above there, 12.6, about 12.7. That's the next area. Now, what I will say about these areas and what's happening on a broad scale market. You need to be looking at yields. As bullish as we are, the same things happened. Again, guys, history will most likely continue to repeat itself. Now, what did I highlight here? This right here is the same time you got your Fed minutes, May 25th. And this is the 10-year yield. What happened after that date? You started going back up. Previously, you had 3 to 4 weeks of pure downside on the 10-year yield. What's happened right here, people? 1, 2, 3, almost 4 weeks of downside pressure on the yields. Guys, you can't make this up. The same thing continues to happen and happen. Play the trend. And when I say a trend, it doesn't just mean the stock market going up or the stock market going down. You need to look at the trend that's happening here on the fundamentals as well. So we come back to the 10-year. Look at what's happening. You're pushing back up. What about the 10-year? What does it mean? If you're new here again, the 10-year has been a lagging indicator on getting pullbacks on the market because what happened? You ran all the way up here until June 14th, and then everyone remembers you started dumping back down on the indexes. What are happening with yields? What's the big deal? This full inversion, we keep talking about it. The inversion is one of the key indicators when it comes to a recession. It's the biggest indicator there is. You've made that firm bottom once again at that 92% inversion. Hey guys, you've held this for almost 3 months now. You're pushing back up. If this continues to push, in my opinion, it tells me the long-term downside is not done. Again, if you want to just get your, you want to see what's happened with this, you want to see what other types of dips have we seen in the market. 2018, we saw a nice big dip there. We saw the housing bubble, 2008. You stayed up there for a while. The dot-com bubble. Guys, I'm not making this up. Go do your own DD. This is key overall fundamentals you need to be paying attention to because it will make you money on the market and it will save you. Looking at the dollar value. A few weeks ago, I tried to tell everyone was telling me, Tyler, the dollar's bearish. You're going to start dropping back down. We're going back onto our risk overall on in the market. Look what's happening with the dollar. People try to tell me a few weeks ago we were bearish, you were dropping. Guess what? You dropped a little bit and then you made new highs. People, the fundamentals do not lie. When it comes to the Fed minutes, they said growth is slowing, and I believe growth will probably continue to slow for the next year or so. It's going to. Stagflation is going to hurt. You're going to see these whipsaws back and forth. But overall, the long-term trend, I still think, is pointing to more downside. Now, on a good note, before I let you guys out of here, I told you guys about oil yesterday, the big oil demand zone. I let everyone in Discord know. Buy oil right here for swings. If you want swings, oil is the way. I told you guys the $90 calls for August 19th. Those things are up almost 100% today. I told everyone for Exxon, they're already up 100%. You already got a massive bounce out of this $95 level. It's been holding for the past 4 or 5 months overall already. Looking at Exxon, how's it performing? On the day, up from yesterday, 80.78 lows. On today, it went all the way back up to 86. What about Chevron, some of these other big names? Big bounces, boys. 137 all the way up to 145. What about Oxy, the one Buffett's playing? Dip from yesterday down to 56.6. Today, all the way back up to $62. I mean, these are just easy plays that you're saying, and they're based all on fundamentals combined with these technicals as well. I'm not trying to lie to you. I come clean every time I make a loss. Anything like that, when I'm wrong, I'm very honest and transparent with you guys. But looking at the market now, you cannot lie with what's happening and what's in front of us right now. It looks like some more upside until more data is revealed, until GDP is probably when I think we start seeing a little bit more of a dip. When that comes back out, that'll be very depressing to look at, and we'll have to have a deep dive into that as well. But overall in the market, these are the things that I'm looking to make money on. Now, I want to spend the last part of the video going over plays that I currently am loving, plays that I am currently liking. These are just areas that I think have money-making potential. I'm going to clear off some of these indicators so we can have a pretty clear look. First up, I want to talk about a sector that is hurting, right? So when I'm looking at these dips, I automatically go to sectors that are hurting. XLI, the industrials, Caterpillar, you're hurting. Yesterday, you were down here at 170. You bounced all the way up to 180. I think you have more upside, most likely a retest of 191. That's where I'd be looking for this at, as long as it can stay. And if you want to get the easiest trade here, wait for you to break these highs of 182.5. Once you break there, that's when you would go long and start targeting 192, 190 on the soft end as well there. Next up, Tesla. This is a big one. This is one of the big ones. As you look at Tesla here, I want to compare again the trend, people. The trend. As you jump into Tesla, there's two key time periods. You have right back here going into March, basically January through early March. Dip, start bottoming here. And then what happens? Boom, you go all the way back to almost to 1200. What happens here on Tesla? Same type of action. Dip, except you're getting a lot of sideways action, making a hard bottom at locally 626. And I believe if you can break above 790, it's going to be a straight uptrend back up to 1,000, the high 900s. You're looking extremely bullish here as well. You're getting momentum. And if you look at the past few days, if you really get into this chart, you can see you haven't been having the biggest moves like you were having back here. You were having days where you bounced from 650 all the way up to around 740 in one day. You've been bouncing around 30, 20 points, which is very good. Don't get me wrong, but you're due for a very volatile time. And if you go back to VIX, look what's happening here. You're dipping back down to the $24 region, which we mentioned. This is bullish for the economy. As you're drawing back down, you are bullish on the economy when it comes to this as well. That's why I love this. When I'm looking at these plays, key areas you need to be focusing on based on the trend. Now, I've gone over NVIDIA already. I think NVIDIA has a lot of upside. You've already mounted that 155. That's where we started trading it today. I'd be looking locally 170, 162 is your next level. J Ream, shout out to him for giving that price target on 162. That's a key area we need to be looking at here. NVIDIA, another hot play as well. But it's all based on, can you hold these trends? You need to be holding these trends. the biggest, the best play there is, I've been telling you guys for the past few days, it's Amazon. This is it. This is the big one. You've had this head and shoulders here. It's been beautiful. I've been telling you since you were basically at these bottoms here. Where you're really targeting is that gap fill way back here, all the way about to 140. Short end of the stick, 135. This is where you're looking to go. You have a lot of upside. And if you look at the past 3 to 4 days, nothing but pure upside trending on Amazon. Really, it's going to be a little bit tough to get above 118. Once you get above there, it's going to be a clear shot up almost to 124, 128. Honestly, there's so many plays when it comes to this market right now, guys. You need to be keeping your eyes open. But it all starts with what? It all starts with the indexes, people. Watch the Nasdaq. Watch the ES. Going tomorrow, what are our plans? What are our goals? We're looking for ES over the next few days to retest 39.40, 39.50. So a lot more ups, almost 50 points of upside on SPY futures. Nasdaq, 150 points of upside we're looking to. About 12.3. If it gets above there, where are we looking for after that? 12.6 to 12.7. And then we are cooking. This is where you make your money, people. You need to be aggressive when we start establishing these trends. And I haven't been this bullish in a while, but we look very, very good. I'm going to continue to be composed. Watch how we trend. I'm not being too aggressive as well, but there is times when the market's open to be aggressive with those positions. I'm not trying to hold too many things overnight and over the weekend, things like that, unless I'm very confident with where I stand on these positions. Have a good one, traders.